The Liquid Shape Podcast with your host, Cody Perez.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Liquid Shape Podcast. We are on episode 29. Holy shit. 29. Well, we're getting up there closer to our age. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're only about what? I'm horrible with math. 11 away. So very sorry. And I want to apologize to all you guys out there because we delayed in doing this podcast. We're doing it now on Monday. We've just gotten further and further.
It's just been so busy.
It has been busy, but it's been a good busy.
Good busy.
So we'll go into details about that, obviously. But want to apologize to everyone about that and let you all know that we'll try to avoid this from happening, but can't promise that it will always happen like this that it won't happen again, I should say. But I'm your host, Cody Perez, and then we got
Mariah, Lorenzo, Taz.
Taz. Look at Taz. Taz is all excited. He's just happy to be seen.
Smile for everybody.
He's smiling right now. He's got a beautiful smile. So we're trying the video thing again. I know that last couple times I've talked about how we got video, and we were able to figure it out, but now it's like the host that's causing problems. So I have to go in there. Oh, it's always my fault. I'm at that age where I'm technological challenged. Is that the proper way to say it?
Aren't we all?
Anyways, so yeah, these are our boys right here, Taz and Lorenzo. They're our babies, and you guys have heard us talk about them.
We excited.
They're very excited. They love when we come into the podcast or to the studio because they know they're going to be on the podcast and sitting around. And Taz, this is the wild one right here. He's the rambunctious one. Ow! He likes to bite and nip, and he tries to be the alpha male, but then he realizes that Dad runs the show here at the house, right?
Yeah, right.
Dad runs the show.
These two in my lap run the show. They run the whole house.
Sure. Anyways, so we did have a delay in posting this, so I'm going to get it edited and everything. We'll get it up tonight, hopefully.
Yep.
And yeah, so let's talk about how busy we've been. What did we do this last week since the last podcast and this weekend?
Well, Saturday.
Well, we can start with the week. We do anything during the week?
I don't remember.
I think I had some interviews that I did for American Overdose. Obviously, we don't have a guest this week, so I didn't have that. But I think I had some interviews that I did, a few of them, on some podcasts. And band practice, of course. Band stuff always. Yeah.
Yeah. Work. I don't know.
Work. Okay.
My fun stuff didn't happen until the weekend. So.
All right. Well, let's
always.
hear it. Let's hear it. What happened this weekend?
HR is not fun, so never do it. So Saturday, what'd we do? We went down to Salem and went to the On High Festival. That was a lot of fun.
On High, tell us what that is. Tell us what we did before. Tell us who we met up with, who played there.
What do you mean what it is? It's a festival. It's like a spin-off of...
People here are not going to know what it is.
I don't know. I just learned that it's a spin-off of what, Reggae Rise Up or something? Like it's affiliated or something? I don't know.
And it happened in Salem.
I just said that. It's happened in Salem. We went down beforehand, met up with Cody's stepbrother Elvis at Ritter's and had some cocktails. Well, I had cocktails. He had a couple of NAs and had some food. Then we met up with my bestie Judy. And then our friend Emerald. So it was good to see Emerald. I haven't seen her in a long time. So it was a lot of fun, just hanging out in the sun, drinking vodka, listening to some reggae. Denim killed it. Elevators killed it. Slightly Stupid's always good, but I've seen Slightly Stupid so many times. But we ended up leaving early because a friend didn't feel good. But
saw a lot of people they were friends with, and
I saw a lot of people after the fact posting. I'm like, well, damn it! If I would have known you were there, I would have went and said hi.
Maybe they were trying to avoid you.
Maybe.
I ran into some people who were fans of American Overdose. That was kind of cool too. Friends I hadn't seen in a long time as well. It was good vibes, good times. The lines were crazy. I thought the festival proved that we can have festivals on the waterfront, in riverfront, whatever you call it, in Salem.
It was really cool.
I would love to see them do like a rock festival there and have some bigger bands along with some local and regional bands that could be a part of that and do something great for people to have something to do. Like the kids there is an all-age show, so all the kids, you saw a lot of kids having fun there. There's not much to do in Salem. In my late teens, I should say, early 20s, I lived there, and there was a lot of things to do back then, sort of. Like they had venues that had live music and what have you, but it seems like a lot of that's gone now.
Do they still have the Ike Box?
I don't think so, no.
Oh.
I think it's a coffee shop now. But lots of memories playing at the Ike Box and going to shows at the Ike Box or the bands. And I wish that Salem could show Portland up and say, hey, we'll have the rock festivals here in our town and compete with that. And then maybe Portland will step it up, and then they'll start having more rock festivals and that. It seems like all the bands, at least the ones that I like, skip right over Oregon, and sometimes they even skip Seattle. or Washington. But if they don't, a lot of the times what they do is end up in Ridgefield, which is probably about, what, half hour away from Portland north. That's still annoying.
But it's
I would
funny,
prefer,
when they're at that amphitheater and like, Portland!
yeah,
It's
they
like,
call it Portland. It's
well,
like,
that's
no, not at
really
all. It's not even
Portland
close to Portland. But I don't blame them for skipping. Hey, boys, let's be nice. I don't blame them for skipping over. There's a lot of crap that has happened in Portland,
sucks.
and so people get pissed off. Like, the one thing I was mad about this festival and upset about was that I really, really wanted to see Ice Cube. I was so excited to see Ice Cube, and I'm not saying the big boy didn't bring the energy.
He killed it. Like, it was a lot of like how I was about Ludacris last year at the Farewell Festival when I was like, Ludacris is playing a country fest. So I was kind of a hater, but then he killed it. But yeah, so with Big Boy, like, I've always liked Big Boy and I've always loved Outkast, but it's like I was so set on Ice Cube, but he killed it. It was a lot of fun.
He did awesome. I'm not hating.
Outkast.
There's no way that he was going to do and perform like Ice Cube to my standards.
Yeah.
So, like I said, there was no hate on or shame on any of the groups that played. It was fun.
But
Great
rumor
time.
mill, that's kind of
Any artists that are doing that. I'm not saying Ice Cube is, but any artists that are doing that,
it's crap.
that's crap. And you definitely lose me as a fucking supporter, because I don't want to risk spending money to come see you and then to find out that you're just going to do that, be pulling that kind of shit. So any artist, regardless of what genre music you are, if you're pulling that shit, you can count on me not buying tickets to your fucking show.
Yeah.
Because fuck that shit.
Yeah. But I mean, it was fun. And it all worked. I mean, obviously, for the first time being in Salem and stuff, there's some recommendations on what they could do better next time. But I think for the most part, I mean, other than needing more food, more bathrooms, maybe better signage. But I feel like for the most part, it flowed really well because it's just a one-day festival.
Well, what was specifically for the signage? Tell them what exactly.
My God. Well, because they were in the section where they had all the porta potties, especially if you're coming in from this angle, they had a urinal. None of us girls could tell it was a urinal because the signage was on this side. So if you're coming in from the other side, you can't see it. Luckily, this guy was like, hey, girls, this is a urinal line. And we're like, what? Then we had to get back in another long line for the regular porta potties. So it would have been nice if they would have had bigger.
After waiting in line for a bit.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Got close to the front.
I'm like, I'll piss in a urinal.
Wow.
Get the stream.
Classy.
Get the stream going.
Classy. And then we hung out at Judy's house afterwards. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting to hang out and BS a little bit. And
I love my Judy.
And then we drove home, and man, I was so tired.
Oh, we didn't get into bed till like 1.
Yeah, and the poor boys were here all day.
They did so good.
They behaved though, and they didn't make a mess or anything like that. That's good.
A lot of times, obviously I leave out potty pads for, especially when we're going to be gone for long periods of time. But I know. But sometimes Taz, just because it's Taz and he's pissed, he'll just kind of piss wherever he wants. But I was surprised he didn't do that. He was a good boy.
And then what we do Sunday?
And then Sunday we went back down to Salem to celebrate our friend Alicia and her 40th birthday. So kind of Sunday fun day. It was a blast.
That was a blast. I had a good time.
So
it was
fun.
It was cool just being able to hang out, chat with everyone, and a lot of our friends that were at the festival were there also.
Mm-hmm.
So
and that was nice too because I didn't get to see a few of at the festival just because we were kind of Judy and I and stuff were all over and they were all like in the front and I don't always like to do that anymore. I'm old and I'm like I don't want to be that close to people.
For me, I went up to the front for a little bit, but I was like I don't care what band it is. It can be my most favorite band. I just don't like being up front anymore. I'm more of I'll watch from a distance. I don't want to be squished by people or that close to other people. It's like, it just grosses me out because people smell and
and that's just it. It's like the closer we got in, the more it's people like I could smell people stinking. I'm like I don't want to smell people.
Disgusting. So I like my space. I like to stay away. I always tell people no matter what shows I go to, like if there's a band playing, there's a couple shows that are gonna be happening in Ridgefield here that we're going to. If I have the option to choose seats or just like a free for area stand back, I will always choose the grass because for one, I get to be away from people and not have to be so close. If I'm annoyed of someone that's like nearby, I'll just relocate somewhere else.
Yeah.
Regardless of where I'm at in there. When you're in seats, you're stuck with your neighbors and then you're kind of just screwed. And a lot of times people are just rude and they're not considerate.
Yeah.
Get in the way or just get noisy. I don't know. It's just, I don't like to be in close quarters with other people, especially people I don't know. So I always pick the grass section for that main reason. I can move around. Also, it's cheaper, by a lot.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of these bands I've seen in their prime when they were playing small clubs. I had the benefit of going to shows when I was 13 and 14, and I saw a lot of these bands when they were at their best. Now they're still great and they're playing huge shows and they got big production, but that energy of being a brand new band, they don't have that. I'll say that right now. Like none of those bands do that I love. So I am perfectly okay with just being from a distance and not having to deal with being really close to people. So then we came home and we were freaking tired, man. We got home at what, 6 or 7, and we got dinner and then passed the hell out. We were out.
Yeah, I was tired.
Yeah, I was burnt out and then ready to start the week. This is a big week for us. We have a show this coming Saturday. American Overdose is playing in Salem. It's a hometown show. I'm very, very excited because we're playing the Grand Theater. Never played that.
The Grand Theater is cool.
We played pretty much everything that's around Salem. We played the Salem Armory, and that was pretty cool. We played the Fairgrounds. We have played the Ike Box. We played the Triangle. We played Duffy's Hangar. We played the Space, the Wasteland, a lot of these venues that have been shut down.
Or renamed. Like Duffy's is the honky tonk.
Yeah, we played Liberty Spirit. We played pretty much everywhere you can think of in places that are no longer even in existence.
I saw you play at the Triangle one time.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
We used to play there a lot.
Con and I went.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so this is the first time for the Grand Theater. We're planning on selling it out. We've been getting updates on the tickets, and they are pretty much, I think we're a little bit over halfway sold out.
Woo! So
I do recommend you get your tickets. So any of my friends out there that want to go, don't miss out. This is a very important show for us.
Don't miss out.
We have some surprises for you. We're going to be filming. We'll be filming that night. We have our friend that's going to be filming us for the whole set before and after. We'll have a lot of merch for you guys, and you get to see Mariah selling the merch.
Merch, bitch.
And we're playing with some badass bands, our friends in Proven, our friends in Pitch Black Mass. It's going to be a badass show. 3 bands. It's an all-age show, so you can bring the kids. We don't play very many all-age shows, so.
That's true.
I always tell people, see us when you can, when it's an all-ager, so you can bring the kids. It's not like we're doing anything crazy up there. We're not playing inebriated like we used to. Some of the guys still drink, but they don't drink and get drunk and crazy before. Not like back.
We're all adults now, believe it or not.
We're all adults. So I'm just excited to be around everyone, friends and family and all that are coming out to celebrate. And it's been 2 years since we played Salem. So it's going to be a great time. This week I am fasting. So starting last meal I had was at 8 p.m. or last meal I had. It's at 8 p.m. last night. So in about 10 minutes, I'm going to hit my first 24 hours. I'm going for 3 days. And I hear that once you get past day and a half, it gets easier. I will say my experience so far has been a roller coaster. So I've only been drinking water and black coffee with nothing at all whatsoever in it. Look at this guy giving kisses.
I know.
But I've had a roller coaster of how I feel. So there's times I feel hungry. Other times I'm like, I feel great. Feel energized. And I did cook you dinner.
You did.
I made dinner for her. That was really hard to make her dinner and not taste it and not make any for myself.
It was delicious. Thank you.
Had to cook for you. You worked at the office and I didn't want you to have to come home and figure it out yourself.
You're very sweet.
So cooked you dinner. But my main reason for doing it is going on the road. You eat unhealthy things. I can't say I ate really, really, really bad, but I also didn't eat really good. I was eating prepackaged foods or fast food at times, gas station foods. And I just felt gross from doing that for 10 days that I felt like I need to reset my body. And everyone says that when I did some research, it's a good detox. It's good for your body to reset itself. It's almost like when you do a defrag on your computer for your body, where you're getting rid of the bad cells in your body. It's burning fat. It's using the fat for the energy that you have stored in there. So just doing a little reset, trying it for three days, and then I'll slowly go back into eating. That's what I hear you're supposed to do. So bone broth. My boss suggested that I try crackers like shortly after that, and then just kind of ease into
some oyster crackers in your bone broth.
I got oyster crackers there. Might be giving into some of that. And so it's a reset for me, and I'm excited for it. I always do intermittent fasting anyways, as it is. So typically every day I do 12 to 16 hours between meals, eat for 8 hours, and I do exercise every single day, including right now. I did earlier.
Good.
Just to, more burning of fat. You can hear my stomach rumbling right now.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's my stomach. I am hungry.
Well, it's windy outside, so I thought
food.
Maybe it was just like the trees or something on the side. But
talking about food's making me hungry, so that was my stomach.
Change the subject.
Rumbling. Let's change the subject. Yeah, I was telling one of my coworkers, I was like, "Hey, like the hardest part is when you smell good food," because someone was like microwaving some food and in the office. And so I'm like, damn it, I'm like hungry now because it reminded me that it was lunchtime. So that was a little bit hard, but I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna go through with it, and I'm excited to see how I feel afterwards.
You got this.
I got it. So anything else that we got going on?
What are we doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow we are going with our friends, John and Stephanie, to Lorna Shore, Motionless in White, and Fit for a King. And I'm not sure if there's another band. There might be a fourth band. But we're going to the Moda Center, going to check out a metal show. I'm excited because I've never seen any of these bands live. We have played with, I want to say that we played with, no, I think maybe Fit for a King was there or not. I'm not sure. When we played the Warped Tour, Motionless in White was there, but I didn't catch their set. I was busy selling merch and meeting people and whatnot. But they were there. They played. So I'm just excited to be there, hanging out with good friends and
it'll be a blast.
Live music. So we're doing that tomorrow. And then Wednesday, I do have a podcast that I'll be doing, the guest for next week's episode. And then Thursday is band practice. And then Saturday is the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then the following week,
it's already August.
I know, time's going by too quick. And then the following week, we will be heading down to California to play some California shows. We haven't been to California in years. Like I'm talking over 10 years probably since the last time they played California. So Friday night, the 14th, we'll be playing at the Dip in Redding. And then on Saturday, we will be playing, on the 15th, we will be playing at the Black Bomb Metal Fest. This is the 13th annual one. So excited to be headlining that outdoor festival on the fairgrounds. And it's going to be a great time because we're playing with a lot of kick-ass regional and local bands.
Yeah.
So
it'll be a blast.
Shout out to all of them putting that on. And I'm just excited.
You should
more
be.
shows. With that said, I think it's time for the question of the week. This week's question of the week was actually brought to you by Mariah.
Oh, ChatGPT.
I figured it was, but I did ask you to do it. So,
but then I'm like, I don't have an answer.
You also don't have an answer. So that's kind of weird. So let's go ahead and read the question of the week.
Love fest over here. Jeez. You babies. Post too much, you can't find it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been posting because I've been just trying to promote the band as much as possible. So this week's question of the week, it is brought to you by Mariah, and it is, what's a habit or routine you swore you'd never do because your parents did it, but now you catch yourself doing it? When did you realize it? Did you laugh or cry? What's the one thing you'll never become like your parents about? Great question.
It is good. I'm just like, fuck. What's my answer?
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
So I will go first. This is one that I swore I'd never do, but I didn't actually do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, on my mom's side, I swore that I would never be late because she is always late. I love my mom, but literally, like, you have to tell my mom that it's 2 hours in advance for her to show up on time because she will be late. She is always late to everything. There's nothing at all, no matter how important it is, that she's ever on time for. And it frustrated me and my brother to the point where Pito and I are always early and ahead of time on things, no matter what it is. And so I think it's probably has to do with us getting frustrated because, like, I remember when we were kids, we would go to family gatherings or important things like whether it was church or a wedding or something. We were always those people that were late because of my mom, and we'd be the ones walking in the door and everyone turns around and looks at you all awkward. And I would get so frustrated. My brother and I would get so frustrated. My mom would get so mad. So I swore that I would never do that. And now to this day, to anything that I do, always on time. Actually, I'm always ahead of time, early. I make it a point to be. And if I'm late, it really means that something must have happened that caused it, but it's very rare that I'm ever late. And for my dad's side, I think I've talked about this numerous times, but I'll bring it up, as I always said that I would never be an alcoholic or ever drink. Obviously, that didn't happen. My history of drinking and alcoholism in my family and all that stuff, it happened. But now I swear that I'm going to break the curse. And so that's what been one of my many motivating factors to stay on the path of sobriety. As some of you know, my grandpa died of alcoholism, which is then my grandpa on my dad's side died of it. And then my dad died of it at 50 years old. So I wanted to break that family curse. I'm determined to break that family curse. And then I've had family members on both sides of my family that have dealt with alcoholism and drug problems and all that. So don't want to fall into that. And I technically kind of did with all that stuff. So I've been working very hard with my sobriety to stay on the good path. When did I realize it? I mean, I think with alcoholism, I think I always kind of realized it, kind of knew it but I always just kept it in the back of my head. I think it really hit me once I was not remembering things and I felt like I was losing myself, and when I felt like I was losing credibility, and pretty much a majority of my credibility was long gone. I didn't believe the shit that I myself told myself. So I knew it was a wake up call for me to be like, all right, you need to get this shit together and fast, not work at it in steps. You need to do it quickly. Did you laugh or cry? I mean, I had my mental breakdowns big time, multiple times with it. So there was no laughing about it on that part. And what's one thing you'll never become like your parents about? Well, I mean, I think I kind of said it with my mom. I don't want to be late at all. And my dad, obviously don't want to die from alcoholism. So that is the big one for me on those. So how about you?
This is a hard one, really. I think a lot of there's a few things that come to mind for me. So I think a lot of growing up, my parents had me in their early 30s. So I grew up, they both worked full time, came home, they were tired. So they didn't really put their health first a lot of the time. They weren't super active and that type of stuff. And it's always tired from work and just saying I'm tired from work. And I'm like, I'm never going to be that. And I'm like, well, now I got it. Because it's I'm always tired, especially on my on-site days where I have to travel from Oregon City to Hillsboro and then get home. And it's by the time I get home, it's already 6:30. And then luckily, I'm very, very lucky to have you, and dinner and stuff will be ready. But then by the time that's done, it's 7:30. And then it's if we have shit we have to get done in the evening, it's then we have to rush. And then it's, before things close. So it's just, I think that's a big one. I used to be really big into working out all the time. And I've gotten really bad and I haven't even worked out in a long time. Well, I mean, I did do my hip thrusts the other day. Then it's my legs of my inner thighs and my ass has been sore for the last 3 days. So then I haven't done it in 3 days. So I need to do it again. But I think it's just and not a dig on my parents, love them, but I need to get back into being better on my health and making sure I'm working out, Just because you're on the shot doesn't mean you can't do nothing. Doesn't mean you shouldn't take care of yourself,
Yeah, you got to have a healthy heart. You got to have functioning body parts.
Yep. But I am glad my mom was a big, huge smoker. So she actually has COPD. Right. So she has COPD really bad. She's constant oxygen, needs oxygen constantly. But luckily I never got into smoking. So, I mean, I know it's not really what this week's thing is. Can't even talk. I'm brain dead. Sorry. This is Mariah Monday, 8 p.m. But yeah. All right.
All right. So we'll read some of the responses that we have here. Let's see the first one, and I do want to apologize to Nikki Bolt. Let's see here. You did respond to the question the week before, but you responded after we recorded. So I do apologize that we did not get to read your response for the question the prior week. So I made sure that we're getting you here. So she did respond to this week's question of the week, and she says, so back when I was watching Roswell, New Mexico, I was catching myself saying what firearm the person was carrying. After the very first time I said, God damn it, and then realized I was doing what my dad does when he watches shows and movies. I laughed at myself, then called my dad to tell him what had just transpired. He laughed at me and he said he was proud. I think that also happened because I had worked for a big holster company around that time. If you're curious, it was a Beretta 92, the character was carrying. I still catch myself from time to time doing that when my husband and I watch shows and movies. I laugh and tell my husband what firearm it is. He just looks at me, grins, and calls me a dork. Something I'll never become like. My mom is a drama queen. I've told her this before. That likes to talk tough. She's the kind of person that will say she'll hit someone for looking at her wrong, but if you tell her something about her you don't like in a tactful way, her eyes will well up. Another thing she does is play victim, and she does it so well. Like when my oldest tried swiping money from her, she knew he tried with us. What makes her different? She started crying and saying, I just love the kid so much and now he can't come over. I just don't know why he'd do that. Ma'am, you gave him the combination to your safe. You let him count the money you had. You left it unattended with him in the room and the knowledge of how much and how to get it. Did I feel bad? Nope. I've told her numerous times about his ventures in thievery. Why would she be different? Especially when she would constantly undermine me and try to be his BFF rather than authority figure. He still tries stealing stuff from us, but after being called out, he cops to it. Now, if I could just get him to understand to not do it at all, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Oof, that's rough. Well, the first part of that, I think that's awesome that you catch yourself being like your dad.
I find
Love that.
myself doing the Rodisms all the time, like his little sayings.
Yeah.
Feeling froggy, then leap. You mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Yeah. And the second part, what I would say, it's like, and I see this with my nephew, it is easy for grandparents to choose the side of the nephew or the grandson. I think that's just part of being a grandma. Like you don't want to be the bad guy and you want to be the one that says yes, yes, yes. And in most cases, I'm just like, I don't have kids, so I can't really relate, but being a grandchild, and I was definitely like one of my grandma's favorite grandchildren, I understand their intention and the love that they're trying to show and what have you. They don't mean to be bad, or they don't mean anything bad by it, or I don't think they're trying to purposely undermine you. So I get the frustration though that you would have with that, just because you're trying to teach them your ways and how to be better and what have you. As far as the thievery, I'll tell you a story about when I was a kid that changed me. Now, I wasn't a thief by any means, but there was a time I went to a grocery store with my dad and I wanted a candy bar, and I believe I want to say it was a Crunch, Nestle Crunch. And I asked my dad for it. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to give it to me. I put it in my pocket. I was at Roth's IGA in Silverton, and I put it in my pocket. Didn't think anything of it. I think I was like 4 or 5 years old, to be honest with you. A baby, yeah. So I didn't understand the concept of money or what I was doing. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't, because I asked my dad for it and he didn't get it for me, but I put it in my pocket anyways. We walk back home. He catches me later in my room eating it, and he flips the fuck out. And he's like, where the hell did you get that? And he lets me have it, and it makes me feel really, really guilty. He then tells me, we're walking back to the grocery store, and you're going to tell them what you did. You better hope that they forgive you and that you're sincere about it, and that you learn your lesson, because they might call the cops and get the cops out there to talk to you as well about it. And then at that point, it's out of my hands, but you're going to go with me and you're going to apologize. I was crying the whole walk there. He was lecturing me the whole walk there about how bad it is to steal and take things, and you got to ask. And if someone says no, you accept it, and blah, 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 blah. So we go to the grocery store. I'm in tears. And he makes me confess to the cashier that we had worked with, that he had been, bought some of the groceries with, about what I did. And I'm in tears, and she lets me know. I'm sure he had a talk with her right before. And she starts educating me as well about how bad that is. And, it comes out of her till, potentially, if she's short on something. And they give me this big old lecture, and they said they were going to not call the cops this one time, but potentially in the future it could happen, and they prosecute me and all this stuff. So after that, I never once stole a damn thing in my life again. It was a moment of just feeling shameful, guilty, embarrassed, all that stuff. So maybe that's what your son needs. I don't know how old he is, but if you really put him in a situation that makes him feel really embarrassed over it, maybe that's what he needs. If he's older and has never done, gone to juvenile hall for it, or done jail time or anything like that for stealing, that might be something that he needs. I don't know. But I just know that for me, that's what worked. And I'm not saying that works for everybody, but that was enough for me.
When I was like, I don't know, 6, 7, so like first grade maybe, I went to daycare, and one of my daycare gal's kids, she had 2 sons, had I want to say it was like a bag of quarters, like in a cool bag or something, but for whatever reason, I was so jealous that he had all these quarters or whatever, and so I stole. I know, and I'm not a stealer, I'm not a thief. Probably
stay away from my piggy bank.
Probably because of this reason. And so my mom finds them, and then she tells my dad, and they get pissed at me. I'm pretty sure, I don't think I got the belt, but I think I got a good swatting on the butt. And then I had to go take them back and, give them back and apologize and let them know that I did it.
Good.
So that was fucking embarrassing, of course. And you're like, oh, this is why we don't do this. Never done it again. I mean, I'll steal shit from work, like pens and shit, but I'm not taking people's money.
All right. Well, let's see. Next one comes in from John. Speaking of John. So John says, what's a habit or routine you swore you'd never do because your parents did it? To be honest, most of the habits my parents had, I've actively tried to avoid. I've never smoked a cigarette. I've never been drunk. I have a real aversion to alcohol after watching what it did to not only my parents, but a lot of friends and other family members. It ruined lives. Both of my parents were pretty cheap about a lot of things, and that's another habit I've done my best to stay away from. The way I look at it is, if I'm going to buy something or replace something, I want the best version of whatever that is. I don't want the cheapest option I can find. So realistically, I can't think of any habits of theirs that I disliked that I've actually picked up. Follow-ups. When did you realize it? I think for a good portion of my life, I've made a conscious effort. Thank you, John. I relate to, I guess I relate to that. Like where I think it's easier for us to say the things that we haven't done that we didn't pick up, at least for me anyways. Good for you for not picking up the smoking and the drinking, because you're right. That just, as I've talked about many times and many of my guests have talked about, it does ruin lives. And I mean, I had some great times drinking and all that. Yes, of course. Many, 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 many good times. And I wouldn't have the experience to talk about it without those times, but also a lot of headaches and craziness that I could have avoided. Lessons that I guess they're lessons, and it's good that I experienced it, because then I can talk about it, I can relate to it with other people, and maybe talk people out of not doing it. Or maybe when I talk, people that are going through it can relate to me because they know that I've been through it. And so I like the idea that or the mention that you said that you don't like cheap things. I'm the same way. I don't like the cheap brand of anything.
You get what you pay for.
Because you do. You always get what you pay for. And do I always get the very, very, very best of everything? Not always, because sometimes things are just, I'm like, okay, that's a ripoff. But I make sure I don't get the cheapest or even the second cheapest or whatever. I like to get like somewhere between the mid-tier to mid-tier between the mid and the highest top value one is usually what I like to do. And I've noticed that, yes, things do last longer and you get better results when you do spend the extra cash. So definitely agree with that stuff. All right. You're happy with my pointer finger. The first one comes in from Elisa Carpenter, and she says, all sorts of little things my stepdad would yell at us for. Like slamming the car door. As an adult, I cannot stand when someone slams my car door. LOL. There's tons of other things too that I can't remember off the top of my head. I just laugh when I realize I'm being my parents. But this is also another reason I didn't want kids, because of things I went through growing up. I didn't want to treat my kids that way, the way I got treated. Understandable. Yeah. I actually was just talking about this. Who was I talking about this with? About slamming doors. We were talking about this as a group about slamming doors. We were just talking about it yesterday at lunch.
Oh.
We're talking about slamming doors. You can't slam doors, otherwise your door would get removed or you'd lose your door privileges.
Oh, my dad would yell, scream. If I left the light on.
Maybe that's why I like to have the AC on in the summertime and the heat on in the winter, because we were not allowed to touch it. And now I'm like, I'm going to be able to do what I want. And I leave all the lights on because my mom used to always turn off the lights. There we go. There we go, talking about things that growing up now that this gave me an idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I can relate to that, Elisa. I can relate to that. And we don't have kids because we're selfish and with our time, and we like to be able to do whatever we want.
Just no fucking way. God bless you to everybody that can do full-time work and raise kids. I can't. I'm not that good.
You're not the one or the two?
I can't, because I'm spent by the time I was just thinking about that tonight, right before we started the podcast. I'm like, I'm drained today. And I'm like, I couldn't imagine if I had little kids I had to take care of. Then I'm thinking, I'm like, so I'm 41. My mom at 41, I was 9. I'm like, ugh.
You're probably a shitbag.
No, I was a loner. I was to myself and quiet.
Well, what if you had a lone and quiet kid?
I mean, that'd be cool. I was actually like, I'm not being like, I'm the great. But I was a pretty good kid, though. My mom had me where she wanted me. She was like my best friend. So it's like her and I had that kind of relationship that there was a couple times, I guess maybe there was disrespect or I did stuff that I got in trouble. Like probably like freshman year, really. That's when I started rebelling, I guess, a little bit. But she gave me so much like slack and freedom with there's contingencies to them. Like I always had to tell her where I was going. If we were at a certain place at a party and we left, I had to call and tell her just so she knows exactly where I'm at. And so I did. So it's like I knew not to mess that up or lose her trust.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Eric Sheet says, relying so much on fast food instead of cooking. I can remember going out at least 3 times a week for like Olive Garden or even just stopping by Burger King and McDonald's after school. It's a constant battle because 5 p.m., 6 p.m. comes quick.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yes. Well, I would say like it was really bad for me when I didn't cook a lot when I was in my early 20s. Priorities were always hit the bar, meet up with friends, and I'll get dinner there. And it wasn't always the best, or usually you get dinner at a bar or whatever, and then you get the munchies, the drunk munchies on the way home. Yeah. So you stop at Jack in the Box or McDonald's or whatever the case may be. And you build these bad habits because then you're like, oh, I'm craving that. And it's like, no, don't do that.
Don't do it.
Even now, you and I don't really go out to eat very often. And if we do, we definitely don't go to we avoid the chain restaurants. We don't do fast food for the most part. Occasionally we
I did get some mini tacos from Jack in the Box coming back from the festival. Yep.
That's what happens when you're out till 1 o'clock in the morning, of course. And so we do avoid them. The taco trucks, I don't avoid. I definitely still hit up the taco trucks,
They're so
the
good.
Mexican food carts, or even food carts in general. But here's the thing about the food carts is that in most cases, they are cooking the stuff fresh. It's not prepackaged frozen stuff. Yes, there's food carts that serve like the frozen chicken strips or mozzarella sticks or things like that that are quick and easy that they deep fry. But there's also things like the Mexican food carts that they obviously are making the meat there on hand. Sometimes they make the tortillas there and they're fresh and all that. But
I love when it's fresh tortillas.
Me too.
So
I
good.
do too. You're making me hungry. We shouldn't even be talking about food.
You keep
Eric, damn you. You fucking brought up food. Just kidding. But I can relate, Eric, 100%, brother. Next one is from Curious Emberborn.
Hey.
And Curious says, use any kind of drug ever. I grew up watching my parents bring home cocaine rather than a paycheck and chop lines at the dinner table. Holy shit. When I was 30, I smoked weed for the first time. That opened the psychedelic rabbit hole. I've experimented with a bit of cocaine myself. I mean, it smells so good once it hits your nose, but man, it's expensive, and coming down as the sun comes up is something I'm good, never experiencing it again. So using drugs, that's what I thought I'd never do until I did.
Yeah.
Understandable. And I always say this, cocaine, I always swore I would never do.
Same.
And then I did. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit, this is great.
Let's fucking go.
And then that's all you like. And then once you're doing it, that's all you want to do when you're doing it. I can't say I was addicted right off the bat.
It's not one that really.
And the people I was hanging out with literally always had it, and they were giving it away for free.
Yeah.
Until they don't. And then you're like buying, the next thing you know, you're buying bags with friends.
Yeah.
And then it's like becomes a very social thing. Like you drink beer and then do cocaine, and that's wild and crazy before you know it. I always tell people, I'm like, it's not worth doing it, especially nowadays anymore with all the fentanyl that's getting mixed with, and it does hurt.
The next day.
Curious said that right now that when you do it and then the sun's coming out, I can relate to that 100% because you will be doing it, and then next thing you know, you start Thursday. And it's next thing you know, it's Monday, and you're like, where the fuck did the weekend go? That's the kind of parties that we would have, and I don't miss that at all.
No,
and it hurts.
It hurts
really, really bad. It's just not worth it.
I've told you the story of like the cocaine party I went to one time in Colorado, like a million years ago. Like it was one of those where it's like because when I did do it, it was usually very sporadic, and like I didn't have to do that much. Like I wasn't a person that had to keep going. It's a little bump will do you, I guess. But no, this party, like they just had like short fat lines, and I just remember they just kept saying go go go, and I'm like, rah, and I didn't pay for shit, so that was cool. I'm pretty sure I didn't, but it just got to a point where I'm like, I am so high, I don't want to be this high anymore. This is too much. This isn't fun.
Yeah, there was those times.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there was times that I was just like, right after I did it, I was like, oh my god, why did I do this? I did not mean to do this.
Yeah.
And I instantly regretted it, and it wasn't fun anymore.
No.
So I definitely have learned, and like I said, I don't recommend for people to do it. I always tell people don't do it. It's one of those things that it's not worth it. Like you could lose your life the first time you do it with all the shit that they're mixing it with. You don't want to get addicted. No. It's just not worth it. When people tell me they've never tried it, I'm like, good, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Need to. It's ruined too many lives that I know of people too. So.
Well, it was funny, like yesterday being at the Half Penny for Alicia's birthday, I'm like, shoot. So the Half Penny in Salem used to be a nightclub called Sapphire. Well, it was like Oasis, and then it was Sapphire, like 2006, 7, 8. And I'm just like, man, when I walked in, I was like, gosh, I just remember like fucking, I would do ecstasy and go there and like dance all night. And
that's wild. You're crazy.
It was fun.
You are crazy, girl.
I would not recommend it now.
Well, we have one last one. And this one came in actually from a friend of yours.
Joy!
Yeah.
Joy Newton, I love you.
Joy sent a DM on this one. So, hi, I raised my kids on the other side of how I was raised. Every generation gets to evolve and become better. Sometimes you feel yourself slip into no, not that. As a parent of adult children, I am so blessed that they didn't turn me in for takedowns in the hallways, chancla in the back, head, and knees.
Joy's spicy.
I feel like my kids appreciate all the rug burns they earned. They didn't know mama could hurdle. As someone that got beat, and I don't mean like abused beat, but beat with the chancla, my grandma used to hit us with like little, like those those wooden fences that the thin pieces of wood. She would hit us with that, and then Peter would always grab it and he'd break it between like on his knees and be like, what are you gonna hit us with now? She'd hit us with a fly swatter. She'd hit us with whatever.
Oh, grandma.
But we were just so stubborn that no matter how hard we got hit, nothing would work. It wouldn't shape us up. What we were scared of is my dad. And all my dad had to do, he never laid a hand on us. All he had to do was like raise his voice, and we were just like, oh shit. So
that's so funny. I'm like that, but with my mom. Like, my dad was yelly and screamy, like Vietnam vet, right? So you'd think like that would be who I was scared of. Fuck no, I'm still to this day, the only person I'm scared of is Pam. That bitch is nuts. I love her, but if she's pissed, dude, I mean, fuck, she had the glass ashtray that she chucked at my dad's forehead when I was a baby that she kept forever, that just had the chip missing out of it, just like a reminder to him, like, fuck around and find out.
Explain that story a little bit more.
My mom is the sweetest woman. Let me just preface that. My mom is the sweetest woman you'd ever meet. It's just when Pam's pissed, like, she sees red and she goes. So
it's hard to picture your mom being mad because she's always been sweet. I've only seen her nice.
I've only seen it a couple times in my life, but it's just enough. Like, she's unhinged. She can be unhinged. Like, she's that person that she's gonna. I just remember, so like one time. Back in the day, we were at downtown Salem at the mall. I think we were at Mervin's or something like that. But I remember like the round racks. I was fucking around and just being a pain in the ass. And so my mom got pissed that I was just like knocking shit off the hangers and just being rambunctious. So apparently I could be rambunctious. And
I
so,
kind of figured.
Yeah, so she grabbed me. My mom never like spanked me or like hard or anything like that. Like, I wasn't beat or anything like that. But she'd give me the little swat, like, fucking little act right. She knew how to keep me in line. So she just usually had to just do the look, and I was like, fuck. But so she, I guess, swatted my butt, and this chick, like, this lady saw it and got pissed. She's like, you shouldn't hit your kid. And my mom fucking lost it. I just remember we were with my grandma, like her mom, my grandma Jo, and my grandma was like, Pam, let's go. Pam, let's go. My mom was like, and another fucking thing. Don't you tell me how to raise my fucking kid. And she was just going. I was like, Jesus Christ. It was 0 to 100.
That takes balls to tell somebody.
Could you imagine Pam and Paula back in the day? They would have had some fun.
My mom
People would have died.
My mom was definitely, she's a lot calmer than she used to be when we were younger. Oh, and my mom, I felt like my mom thrived off of like getting a react, like she thrived off of getting angry. And so if something happened, she didn't let anyone just like step on her or tell her off.
She's a very strong woman.
She's a very strong woman. So she would go off, and it almost like she thrived on like, you want to fuck with me? All right. And then she'd fucking let them have it. Mm-hmm. My mom is not.
You fucking me, I fuck you.
Yeah. My mom's not someone to mess with. So shout out to my mom for raising my brother and I. Because my brother and I, the reason why we are the way that we are is because both of my parents were very, very confident and very not afraid to be confrontational and not afraid to stand up for yourself and say it how it is. And so we were raised with that, and that's why people always say, like, Pito's really intense, or I'm really intense, or they always say, like, oh, you guys are, you guys have no problem with I have no fucking problem with confrontation. I just don't. I was raised to speak your mind, speak up, and don't just let things stew. So.
I like stew.
Yeah. So that's all the responses that we got this week. And like I said, we don't have a guest. I'm always looking for brand new guests. So if you have not been a guest on this podcast and you're listening, or someone that would be good for it, please reach out to the liquidshapePodcast@gmail.com all together. Let me know. And I would love to have you on as a guest and you tell your story. Again, you don't have to come in and tell or talk about anything you don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for people that are telling something interesting. It could be
that anything.
You started a business, or
it doesn't have to be sad stuff or whatever. Just whatever.
Just something that would be interesting.
Yeah, that others can relate to, or maybe even be motivated from it. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So feel free to reach out to us, and we would love to get you on an episode. Big shout out to our monetary contributors, Eric Sheets and King John. Yeah. If you want to contribute to the podcast, we encourage you guys to click on the support podcast. $1, $2, $3, $5, $10 a month, whatever you want to pay. We're always looking for sponsors to help us out. It does cost money to run this podcast, the editing software, the hosting software, all of that costs money. So we do appreciate anyone that contributes to it. We appreciate you guys that are answering the questions, man.
Absolutely.
I love hearing from you guys. Helps us get to know you, helps us with material to conversate about, and you sharing your experiences can help somebody out there that's listening.
Absolutely. No, we appreciate it. It's just so much fun engaging with you guys.
It is. We love doing the podcast. The boys clearly love the podcast because when we come in here, they're just
they're
up and ready to go. So keep listening, keep spreading the word about the Liquid Shape podcast.
Yes, please.
For our friends that live in Oregon that are within a 50-mile radius of of Salem, please come out to the show. I would love to see you guys. We want to pack the house. We're almost there. You need to sell a few more tickets. Bring your friends, bring your kids, bring your family. It's going to be a very, 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 very fun show. I promise you, you'll be talking about it for a long time. You can go brag to friends about it. We are going to be hanging out with people before and after the show. Specifically, I want to say after the show because that's when we'll be in character with our masks and can
Get
come take
pictures, get autographs.
Say hello to Mariah.
Hello. Too bad the boys won't
merch
be with
booth.
me,
I would love to be able to bring them, but it's too much noise. They'll freak out. But thank you guys all so much. I hope you have a great kick-ass week. Sorry about the delay, but we'll be posting this ASAP.
Appreciate you.
Have a great fucking week.
Woo!
Be sure to find us on all social media platforms, follow and subscribe.